Well, a 38-year-old Bishop woman was arrested Saturday night on several charges that included attempted homicide and assault with a deadly weapon. Now, a press release from the Bishop Police Department identified the suspect as September Ann Downey, 5'4", 140 pounds, who lives in Bishop. And that press release reads, on Saturday, February 28th at about 8:50 p.m., officers from the Bishop Police Department responded to the area of the 300 block of East Line Street regarding a report of somebody brandishing a firearm. Upon arrival, officers located the victim, Danielle Jordan. Jordan had obvious injuries, according to the press release, and reported to the officers that she had been attacked by September Downey. Jordan claimed that Downey had assaulted her with an unknown type of firearm and that she had been rendered unconscious as a result of the assault. The attack had been witnessed by others in the area. Now, further investigation revealed that the weapon was a replica firearm/BB gun, and that the victim, Jordan, had been shot and beaten with the BB gun during the assault. Suspect Downey, according to the press release, was located a short time later at her residence and taken into custody without incident. Victim Jordan was treated at Northern Inyo Hospital for her injuries. Press release notes that Downey was subsequently booked at Inyo County Jail in Independence on various charges, including attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, battery causing great bodily injury, and violation of probation. Downey's bail set at $500,000. Well, Deb Murphy filed this report for Sierra Wave Media. Last Wednesday evening's meeting of the Northern Inyo Hospital Board was literally standing room only. The board opted to strictly adhere to the 50-person limit on the meeting room on Birch Street, and the other approximately 50 to 55 people in attendance lined a long hallway through a 90-minute report from the district's auditor, waiting for the public comment period. Now, as people wound their way into the room to comment on issues raised by healthcare staff forming a union, someone in one of the 50 meeting room seats had to leave. Now, Sierra Wave Media will have more on the auditor's report in future broadcasts. Now, while this regular board meeting was less tense than the special meeting called February 10th, more community members stepped up, questioning both the board and the administration. Becky Taylor spoke first, accusing board members of abdicating to the Chief Administrative Officer, Victoria Alexander Lane. Taylor wants to see a community forum put together to address the issues of what she called a toxic environment. Now, those issues included unhappy employees, the number of terminations, and those reversed by the board, the Human Resources Department as an employee advocate, and the nurses' concerns prior to forming a union. Eric Richmond, a Bishop School District board member and husband of a Northern Inyo Hospital nurse, challenged Board Chair M.C. Hubbard's assertion that the Brown Act requires that once a meeting place is posted, that location is set in stone. You just have to leave somebody to point to the changed board venue, Richmond noted. Why do you need security? Why do we have to stand through a 1.5-hour audit report? The board is in charge. The employees do not feel valued. This shouldn't be a you against them situation, Richmond added. Security staff said they were there primarily for crowd control. Dr. William Dillon spoke to the rumors circulating among the staff and the community, specifically that staff could not approach board members or speak on hospital issues. I don't know if it's true, he said, but it doesn't seem right. It's like fire, it just consumes everything. The board has to be open, honest, and direct and stay involved with terminations. We have to work together, end quote. Now, two of the speakers, hospital staff, asked that the board hold off on approving the hospital's new grievance policy that removed the board from the process. Now, Chief of Staff Dr. Thomas Boo began his report by saying, quote, I can't sit here like it's business as usual. You know the medical staff is having a meeting regarding the hospital leadership, end quote. MC Hubbard had responded to earlier questions of staff speaking to board members. I need to clear up that perception, she said. It's not true. And to Boo, Hubbard said, quote, this is not on the agenda. We can't discuss anything but policies and appointments, end quote. Two items on Boo's staff report. Now, the new and business action item on the hospital's complaint and grievance policy was tabled for a lack of a second to Dr. John Ungersma's motion. Both Ungersma and Hubbard explained that eliminating the board of directors as the last appeal for complaints or terminations was standard procedure at other hospitals. Board member Pete Watercott explained that it is difficult for the board to judge what really happened when an employee is terminated. The few times we have overturned a dismissal, Watercott said, it makes it very hard on management. CEO Alexander Lane explained that she simply followed policy in the employee disciplinary process. We do value our staff, Alexander Lane said. This is being perpetuated by people with a hidden agenda. They're fear-mongering. Now, as for the nurses' progress toward a union, committee spokesman Christine Haney said the hospital had requested the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees validate only the RN union on the grounds that nurse practitioners and physician assistants, the other categories included in the organizing effort, have less in common with RNs. Now, to expedite the union effort, Haney said the RNs will proceed with their union, then begin the process of forming a union for nurse practitioners and physician assistants. We thank Deb Murphy for that report. Well, here's some uplifting news. Northern Inyo Hospital's NEST program received a state-level award of excellence for supporting exclusive breastfeeding among new mothers. Now, Natalie Marcus, the hospital's maternal child family coordinator, accepted one of the California Breastfeeding Coalition's first ever Golden Nugget Awards during the 5th Annual Breastfeeding Summit, and that was held in Garden Grove on January 28th. Northern Inyo Hospital's NEST, or Newborn Evaluation, Support, and Teaching program, was among 7 of 22 healthcare agencies selected to receive the Golden Nugget, which honors local groups that go above and beyond the U.S. Surgeon General's call to action to support breastfeeding. Marcus said Northern Inyo Hospital won the award for identifying and reducing lactation problems. According to the Surgeon General's report, this can vary from physical discomforts to the mother receiving mixed educational messages from different providers. Now, since its inception last January, NIH's NEST strives to, according to a press release, empower, support, and assist Inyo County mothers so they feel prepared and confident for their birthing experience and ultimately choose to exclusively breastfeed their infant for a minimum of 6 months. Now, by teaming up with Inyo County First Five and strengthening relationships with the Inyo County Health Department, WIC, the local obstetrics, gynecology, and pediatric offices, the Toyobe Indian Health Project, Marcus said the breastfeeding message gained ground. Now, pictured is the Northern Inyo Hospital perinatal services team with the Golden Nugget Award. Back left is Julie Core, Darlene Whiteside, Lori Gable, Dan David, Rhonda Aria, Eva Judson, Maura Richmond, and Anarchy Bishop. Front row, Megan Scott, Lindy Butler with her daughter Hattie and Nez Baby, and Natalie Marcus. Not shown, Allie Feinberg, Lisa Cobb, Gretchen Schumacher, and Bree Trimble. Photo courtesy of Bob Rice. And you can see more on this story on our website, sierrawave.net. And those interested in more information about the NEST program, call 760-873-2191. Well, the Prepare You training is in Mammoth Lakes this weekend. Sierra Wave Media's Rob Gill talked with Kathy Young of the Mono County Department of Social Services.
Myself, I'm the shelter coordinator for Mono County, and so I work closely with American Red Cross to help equip our shelters and supplies. They also assist us with any openings, and then I also assist them with training opportunities in the area. So they come up a couple times a year to offer different types of trainings on preparedness and CPR and so forth. So there's a few different trainings that will be happening, and the Prepared You will be happening up in our North County. So we will be having a class in the Antelope Valley Senior Center on March 6th, and that will be from 12 to 1 p.m. And then we will head over towards Bridgeport, and we are going to do another Prepare You class in Bridgeport from 3 to 4, and that's going to be at the Bridgeport Indian Colony. So the Prepare You classes are going to be put on by American Red Cross, and they are the LA chapter that serves the Inyo and Mono County areas. So the Prepare You class is a basic course, and it just gives you information on making a kit, making a plan, and being informed. And it has basic checklists and emergency numbers for each participant that will be taking part of the course. So the event dates are March 6th from 12 to 1 in Antelope, and then in Bridgeport it's March 6th, and it's from 3 to 4 p.m. So there is two other classes that they will be offering. One is going to be a volunteer boot camp. That's going to be in Mammoth Lakes this coming Saturday, March 7th, and that's going to be from about 10 to 12. And they are going to basically go over the history of the Red Cross. They will go over the services and stuff that they provide and how people can begin to be volunteers for the Red Cross, or possibly even the shelters that we operate through Mono County. Well, I'm hoping people will be more prepared, but I'm also hoping that people will take opportunities to volunteer in their communities and possibly volunteer for the shelter operations throughout the county. Yeah, if anybody needs any information, they can contact myself, Kathy Young, and I work at Social Services, and that number is 760-924-1770.
All right, thank you for that, Kathy. We'll be back with more news.